All right, everyone, we are joined by Jonathan Lefkowitz from Maggie London, the COO there. He is a rare combination of an executive leader who is also a hands-on Airtable builder. And we're going to be walking through a demo of one of their use cases. John, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Tell us a bit about yourself, your role in Maggie London.
Yeah, so I'm COO of Maggie London. Maggie London Group is a wholesale manufacturer of women's dresses. So fashion business, very fast-paced. Started using Airtable in 2018. Airtable has been amazing. We have been using it as an extension of our ERP system and have been able to create real efficiency gains.
To give people a sense of scale here, you're introducing, you mentioned 2,000 to 2,500 styles per year. And one of the workflows that you had shared with us that you created was the product costing workflow, where you go from a set of documents, tech packs, bills of materials, to an AI analysis of those costs. Can you tell us a little bit about that workflow, how that works, and why it's important for your business?
The process is, usually very tight timelines. There's a bottleneck from the point at which a style gets made and we have a showroom sample to getting it costed and priced. And the agent will go review, a multi-page PDF document and come up with an artifact that the team used to do. And we estimate that it's saving anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes per SKU. And so if you multiply that by 3,000, you're basically adding a whole human to the team. It's like if you only had 10 SKUs and time wasn't a factor, what would you do to fully optimize the process of negotiation, of costing, of re-engineering a style with agents? There is time. So we'll get to the point where I think, we'll be doing things that were basically inconceivable, last year or even 6 months ago.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's actually look at what this workflow looks like in practice. So we're going to pop open Airtable here and look at this demo environment. So what you're going to see here is largely based on John's real workflow, but with a few added flourishes that are actually going to be new for you, John, because these are pre-released or soon to be released features. So hopefully something new and exciting for you here today too. Okay. All right, so John, you just talked about what some of the inputs to this product costing process are. These are some examples. You might have a photo that looks like this. This was the showroom sample, is that right?
Yep.
There might be an illustration that a designer has put together of a style. Maybe we have the sample of the fabric, one of many different styles that might be used, or colors or patterns that might be used. And then we have the infamous tech pack. There is so much detail in the example that you sent me that is basically creating, as I understood, like a recipe for creating this dress. Yep. It's all the different materials that are going to need to be used, all the different cuts and measurements, and then there's these comments on what that finished product should look like. And there's also this really difficult puzzle of getting all of that optimized onto a single roll of material, and the less length of that material that we can use, the less waste, and of course, less cost we'll have for that product.
Correct.
So from those inputs, given a price target and given a cost and margin target, how do you then make those costing decisions? What I want to walk you through is how we can get, for every single one of those thousands of styles, a report generated that hits your desk that looks like this. So we would have, from those inputs, those raw inputs, that document and those basic photographs, an actual AI-generated cost estimate that looks at historical data of what dresses in the past have actually cost to produce. Yep. Comes up with some optimizations and recommendations, tells you exactly where the costs are likely to come from, and then even generates for you a rendering of potential optimizations that could be made surgically to that product without compromising the design intent and the creative brief behind that style. So that's what we want to generate for you for every single style. How does that sound?
So AI generated the annotations on the image?
AI generated the images.
That's cool.
AI generated the annotations.
I love it.
And AI generated that whole visualization and this whole design style for the actual report as well.
Amazing.
Just from those inputs.
Looks slick.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So let's break down exactly how we can get a report like that in front of an executive like John to make these sophisticated costing decisions. So the first thing that we're going to do is have AI generate a clear 1-paragraph description of this product using those inputs provided. That's that tech pack and those images. And this 1 paragraph is going to come in really handy to describe this style as part of the workflow in a really simple package. So there we go. Just like that, the AI has generated this 1 paragraph with all the key details that we get from those inputs.
Yep. Does a really good job at that.
Nice. From there, let's actually start to bring this product to life. So we're going to ask AI to, again, look at those inputs of the photo of the showroom sample, this kind of this simple image of the product here just on a mannequin, not under any kind of studio light or anything, and not even using the actual fabric that will be on the end product, and the illustration and the details from the tech pack. And we're going to ask this AI field agent within Airtable to generate an image to actually bring this to life and see what this product would look like. Now, this is not intended to be an image that would actually go in front of customers or eventually live on e-commerce, but to be so early in the process of creating a product like this and be able to actually picture how might a customer experience this starts to get really powerful.
Totally. Yeah, and much better as a replacement than the flat sketch, which is what we normally use until we get the actual garment and shoot it on a human. So this is great.
Yeah. We can do a couple other things with this too. So we can generate an image that puts her in New York, take her and put her on the street in New York City and see what this product looks like in a real life context. And we can go even one step further and bring that image to life as a video. So we can use the latest models here from Google, including Nano Banana and Google Veo, to go again from those documents and sketches and just photos of the initial design of the product on a mannequin to this, actually bringing the product to life and seeing how someone might experience it.
Yeah, remarkable. Absolutely remarkable.
Okay, so that's kind of the fun visual stuff, but there's real business decisions that we need to make around cost. The first thing that you share with me that you have your agents doing is making callouts on the materials and construction for each product that your human experts do and will continue to do, but can scale and do it much faster now with these field agents.
Right.
So you call these BOM notes or bill of material notes.
Right.
What makes this so important?
Yeah, this is the cover page for a package that we send out to our production factories. And the cover page is important because they're call-outs that the production factories have to take into account when they price the garment. So we want to make sure that nothing is overlooked and important, sewing construction details, trim elements, sewing elements are recognized by the production factory so that we don't have any price issues where, they quote a great price and we accept it. And then as they get into the production process, they say, oh, I didn't realize XYZ, it's going to be 50 cents more. So this process is to make sure that doesn't happen.
So a thorough analysis of these documents upfront de-risks any cost surprises downstream.
Correct.
So we now have this agent, look what it has done. It has gone through, and it's actually citing its sources, it's gone through that tech pack and called out anything that factory is going to need to know to give us the most accurate picture possible of this garment. And so it has done a thorough job that your human experts can come in here and review and say, oh, maybe there's a couple things to be added or tweaked, but this has already been dramatically accelerating your team's ability to cost garments thoroughly and accurately.
Oh, for sure. It's like we said before, it's saving at least 30 minutes per style. And the site sources piece is a great feature just to reinforce confidence on the team. Without that, I think we would have had a much more difficult time with adoption. But the site sources, they're able to read the output, and then if there's any question, they can look at the sources and sort of reinforce that this is correct.
Fantastic. So the next step in this process is going to get really interesting. So here in Airtable, you talked about how thorough of a database this has been for all of your historical styles as well. Yep. We want to give our agents all of that context, the real life data of what your previous garments actually cost, right, not just what the models have been trained on from public data. So we are now running a newer type of field agent that we call DeepMatch. DeepMatch actually will go through the entire database of all of your products and styles that you have cataloged and documented so thoroughly in Airtable find any garments that share similar characteristics to the one in question, and match them through a linked record to the garment that we're looking at.
Yeah.
Once we've established that link, we can then use the specific learnings and costing detail that's grounded in the reality from those previous garments in the analysis that we're doing for this one.
Amazing. Yeah, this is something that happens today, again, for the biggest, most important styles, but it's also, that kind of tribal knowledge. It does take significant research, but oftentimes it's the president of the company or a lead sales manager saying, this style is so similar to XYZ. Let me pull the data from XYZ. And it's a manual, tedious process that we definitely can't do at scale. So it's a one-off type of thing. But when we have that body of research, we're then able to go and really, we have a strong negotiation, position with the factory. They may say, this garment's going to cost $9. But here we have the history that 9 months ago or 15 months ago, the exact same similar pattern, similar body, was $1 less, and that on that basis, that's how we would negotiate a better price.
Incredible. So now, using all of the context and historical data powered by DeepMatch, we can generate this extremely thorough cost estimate for this particular garment. So I'm using a technique here where I've asked this field agent to lay out its entire thought process for me in detail, same way you might ask like a high school student to show their work if they were filling out an assignment or filling out a test. And only at the end of all of this analysis, you can see how thorough this is here. It's making calculations, it's going through all the different aspects of cost.
Yeah.
Only at that point is it then giving me its final answer. And in this example, we're over our cost target. So we need to make some optimizations.
As always is the case.
As always, we've designed a beautiful product,
Yeah.
and we don't want to compromise on that. We want to deliver something incredible for our customers, but can we find some intelligent ways to optimize cost without compromising?
Yep.
And that is our next field agent. So now we have given all the context that we've seen so far, all the DeepMatch, all the material callouts to the cost optimization agent. The cost optimization agent has come up with 5 specific strategies to make slight modifications to this product that will deliver the cost savings that we need to meet our target without compromising on the end quality of that product. And we can visualize those cost optimizations using AI image generation in another field agent right here. So we're using the latest models from Google for this one, where we have taken that AI rendering of the product that we saw earlier, taken the context from all of that analysis that's been done and the recommendations of the cost optimization agent,
Yeah.
and rendered that all together here in this annotated visual.
Yeah, this is amazing because again, in real life, we do this, but the process of figuring out how to save money is not pulled together in such a succinct way. It's typically, let's try this, and then days later, let's try this, and it's hard to have a good decision-making platform because you're really looking for a compromise between design, the tech team, and sales, and it needs to be sort of a fluid conversation about, what are we giving up to save X, and to have it all pulled together with so many options. It does create that platform for a really healthy conversation with all the different audiences involved. This is really amazing, really amazing.
So glad to hear. So then that final artifact that we started with was that report. This report was actually generated also by a field agent. This field agent actually codes and generates entire web pages. And so we're using this field agent to generate a highly visual, beautifully designed report that actually visualizes all of this context and analysis that we've generated into a highly digestible format. So we start with the top line. What are the numbers? And then we break down the actual visual implications and design implications that we're dealing with here. We talk about those cost optimizations. We have some nice visuals on the cost breakdown. And then again, we get that annotated graphic here directly in line within the report.
So is this an interface page that you PDF'd, or did it create the PDF?
So the way this works is inside the data layer here, we have this field agent that is generating a web prototype. So just like we saw images being generated by field agents, videos, text, this one's actually coding a web page. Okay. These are the instructions that we gave this field agent. This is as simple as it is. Use all the product costing context from this record, build me a clean, modern, readable web page, make it feel like something that's purpose-built just for this reason, and I wanted it in light mode. Wow. That's all I had to say.
Wow.
And it was able to make judgments about how all this information should be presented visually for an executive like yourself to make the most informed decision that you can about how to optimize cost on this product.
And every record would follow the same standard format?
Every single record gets this same report.
Wow, amazing. And if you wanted the layout different, you would just adjust the prompt and say, I want this section at the top.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Amazing.
As simple as just describing what you want.
Amazing.
John, thank you so much for joining us today. Any closing thoughts or any advice for anybody watching on their Airtable journey?
Yeah, I would say just get in there and get your hands dirty. It's really not that difficult. It never has been, but over the course of the last year or so, the addition of AI, Omni, there's AI throughout Airtable, sort of baked into the software, and now you can just tell Airtable what you want, whether it's formulas, whether it's an interface page creation, or an AI agent, or building a base itself, and Airtable will do it for you. And so my advice would be just get in there and start building.
Awesome.